So I have one credit where I didn't pick one previously. And I was like, what was that?
You get $2 that month.
Exactly. So I decided to do an add-on, and I was like, well, this one I remember was good, or there was reviews where people were like me and my best friend disagreed on this, and like it talks about how it's really good about like love and seeing
All the ugly and wonderful things.
Yes, all the ugly and wonderful things, seeing the like a different perspective.
Got it.
And it seems like it's gonna be about, which I've already said this many times, I don't like when it's like an older man and like a younger girl, but I think that's what it's about. But it has like,
you hate that.
I know.
With a passion.
I hate it, but I think there's a lot of
intrigue.
Yeah, in the comments they were like, oh, I really liked it, and there's other people who were like, we had so many arguments about this and that, and I was like, oh, well, this sounds like a good one for book club. And Darlene said it last time that it was pretty good. We'll see. It's like a 4.5 in Amazon, and yeah, a 4 out of 5 in Goodreads, a 4.5 in Audible. And I think it's not as expensive either because it's not fairly new. So yeah, that's my book. Oh, I don't know if you guys want me to read a little about it.
Read it.
Yes.
Wait, is this the first person that's presenting?
Yes.
Okay, make sure I didn't miss anybody while my mom called.
No, Katie was gonna go, but then I just put my book up there. Sorry, Katie.
No, you're good. I was still trying to find a good summary.
So it's, as the daughter of a meth dealer, Wavy knows not to trust people, not even her own parents. Struggling to raise her little brother, 8-year-old Wavy is the only responsible adult around. She finds peace in the starry Midwestern night sky above the fields behind her house. One night, everything changes when she witnesses one of her father's thugs, Kellen, a tattooed ex-con with a heart of gold, wreck his motorcycle. What follows is a powerful and shocking love story between two unlikely people that ask tough questions, reminding us of all the ugly and wonderful things that life has to offer.
You know what that reminds me of Ellen Hopkins, because she writes a lot about like drugs and that sort of stuff. Okay. I used to read a ton of her stuff in like high school.
Ellen Hopkins?
Yeah, she writes like almost like in poetry, like it's like like 20 words per page, kind of, and like in funky little like.
Oh, I just saw what it is, like Crank.
Yeah, she has. I read like, I want to say almost all of the books that she's written.
That's interesting.
Like, I read them all through high school.
I typed in her name, and you know how I put like all the different like books that this author has. So it goes Crank, Impulse, Burned, and then it gives you similar ones, and the book I just said, it popped up. So
yeah, because it's like drug use, like that sort of stuff, like people under the influence trying to find better or do better in life.
Yeah, and I think
not always doing better in life.
Yeah, I think one of the reviews, or one of the things that it mentioned, was that what she ends up thinking is good for other people, which I feel like for us, or like it might not be, but to her that's like the one good thing, because like let's say her life is just super bad. So I think that'd be cool to like read into, just because I mean it helps to see different perspectives.
It's different. It's like I don't think we've read something that's like that.
Yeah, something super
deep.
I'm kind of interested in that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. What's next? Let me write that down.
So I changed mine last minute back to one I already recommended before, because I was reading it again. It's called The Sundown Motel, but I think it's too similar to what we've just read. So I'm going to go back to an old one, which is When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. And it's about the neighborhood, I think in Brooklyn, where it's being overrun by white people. And then her neighbors are disappearing, and there's like this huge mystery of what's going on. And then let me try to find like an actual synopsis of it. But It was one of the top books on Goodreads for 2020.
I liked that one last time. It was fun.
And it says, so Sydney Green is Brooklyn born and raised, but her beloved neighborhood seems to change every time she blinks. Condos are sprouting out like weeds. Her sale signs are popping up, and neighbors she's known all her life are disappearing. To hold on to her community's past and present, Sydney channels her frustration into a walking tour and finds an unlikely and unwanted assistant and one of the new arrivals on the block, her neighbor Theo. But as Sydney and Theo deep dive into the history, it quickly becomes a dizzying descent into paranoia and fear. Their neighbors may not have moved into the suburbs after all, and the push to change the community be more deadly than advertised.
And this one was a thriller too, huh?
I think
Suspense.
so. Yeah.
I think I just Googled it and it said like, yeah, suspense. I feel like we're moving away from romance and going into like thriller, suspense, kind of like
I feel like,
creepy.
yeah, I see that.
Which is interesting because it's like, okay, we passed like November, December, like October, you know, like Halloween stuff. I think
we're a little-
after The Shining, like we got really interested, like like into like creepy stuff.
Because we did start very like romancy, and I thought we were
Mhm.
gonna keep going that way, but I love that we didn't, because that's all I see.
It's like, yeah, so you switch it up.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of cool.
It's exposing us to different things because I normally wouldn't pick up like I sometimes do, as you guys know, but not like always.
Yeah,
It's making us explore anything.
you-
later.
we tend to stick with what we're comfortable with or what we're really like, you know, into. But this is good because if we don't try them, we'll never know.
hmm I'm actually finding that I'm like really like I'm usually more like romance, more like goofy stuff. Like that's usually the kind of book I like always pick up.
Mm-hmm.
But I found like after we read The Shining, I'm like super into it that I read this, like I listened to the sequel. And, like all the most recent books that I've been listening to are all like suspenseful,
Nice.
like thriller kind of stuff. So I'm like, oh, that's like I didn't think I would be into something like that. And it's like all I'm into right now. I've even started picking up on like series and stuff, and I'm like, and I can't go to sleep.
Uh-oh. Okay, can't see it.
I can go because I had two options. So we had my first option was actually a romance one. It says you have a match, but now reading the description, I was like, I don't think it's kind of like too cutesy, like too, I don't know. So I think I'm gonna pick this one. It's called Infinite Country, and I'll read you guys the thing inside. Is it only one side or is it double?
Oh yeah, I know. He just needs time to like calm down. Okay, sorry. It's because I heard him crying, and I don't want my sister's trying to study, and I didn't want him to like, you know, be all up in
Here is hail. Damn, that shit's strong. Oh my god! He's like, hello.
Yeah.
How cute.
He's leaving.
So I'm gonna pick this one, the Infinite Country one.
Oh, so not the other one.
Yeah.
Let me cross it off. So what?
Yeah, because I don't think it's the right time.
Did you say the Infinite Country?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna suggest that, but I was like, it's so new.
It is really new, but it's also really small. I'm noticing it's like really short.
You already got it?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the one that I picked for my book of the month.
So back to, you know how I got 2 books? I got that one. And I texted Crystal asking her, like, hey, what book did you get? I didn't want to get the same one, so, you know, we can, like,
Mhm.
exactly. And she didn't reply, and I was like, I just want to pick my book already. And
I responded like 30 minutes later.
we picked the same one, so I was going to suggest that one, but I went with the other one that I got. So that's pretty cool. Okay, sorry.
Okay. So this one says, Thalia is being held at a correctional facility for adolescent girls in the in the forested mountains of Colombia after committing an impulsive act of violence that may or may not have been warranted. She urgently needs to get out and get back home to Bogota, where her father and a plane ticket to the United States are waiting for her. If she misses her flight, she might also miss her chance to finally be reunited with her family in the north. How the family came to occupy 2 different countries, 2 different worlds comes into focus like twists of a kaleidoscope. We see Thalia's parents, Mauro and Elena, fall in love in a market stall as teenagers against a backdrop of civil war and social unrest. We see them leave Bogota with their firstborn, Karina, in pursuit of safety and opportunity in the United States on a temporary visa. And we see the births of 2 more children, Nando and Talia. On North American soil, we witness the decision and indecisions that lead to Mauro's deportation and the family's splintering, the costs they've all been living with ever since. Award-winning international acclaimed author Patricia Engel, herself a dual citizen and the daughter of Colombian immigrants, gives voice to all 5 family members as they navigate the particular of their respective circumstances, and all the while the metronome ticks while Thalia makes it to Bogota in time, and if she does, can she bring herself to trade the solid facts of her father and life in Colombia for the distant vision of her mother and siblings in North America? Rich with Bogota urban life, steeped in Andean myth, and tense with the daily reality of undocumented in the United States, Infinite Country is a story of 2 countries and 1 mixed status family, for whom every triumph is stitched with regret and every dream pursued bears the weight of a dream deferred. So I think it's kind of different.
I was interested in that one because we know, or we hear mostly about the immigration and like the whole path that mostly Mexicans take.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we hear here about the other Latinx and stuff, but I've never really came across a book. So I was like, I think it'd be kind of nice to see their story and see how different or similar they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think our first book that we ever read was
American Dirt.
American Dirt, which was about, she was Mexican, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was like, and we kind of like, we like resonated a little bit with it, you know.
Yeah.
And I think if this would be like kind of different and similar in some ways, but you know, we were the only 2 that read the other book, so
yeah,
I wanted to bring it.
Is it based off a true story or is it a fiction?
I don't know. It doesn't say. Hold on. Let me up. It tells you in here, right? If it's fiction or nonfiction.
Eileen actually sent me a book.
She did?
Yeah.
This book is a work of fiction. Any references to historical events, real people, or real places are used fictitiously.
You can do Darlene's first, Judith. I'm still deciding between these 2.
It says,
Okay. So this
the
is her.
and any resemblance to actual events or places. So it's fiction.
Behind Closed Doors.
Oh, another suspense.
Yeah. And so it goes. Everyone knows a couple like Jack and Grace. He has looks and wealth. She has charm and elegance. You might not want to like them, but you do. You like to get to know Grace better, but it's difficult because you realize Jack and Grace are never apart. Some might call this true love. Others might ask why Grace never answers the phone or how she can never meet for coffee, even though she doesn't work. How she can cook such elaborate meals but remain so slim. And why there are bars on one of the bedroom windows. Sometimes the perfect marriage is the perfect lie.
Oh shit.
On girl.
Yeah.
She sounds like a slave.
That sounds horrible. I mean, like, it sounds good, but it sounds like she's living a horrible life.
It reminds me
Like
of
maybe she was kidnapped as a child or something.
Ooh, like some sex trafficking stuff.
Yeah. Because if there's bars on their window, you know how like sometimes they say like, oh, their captors or whatever gain confidence with them, that they're like kind of let them move around the house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
gosh. I didn't know, but Goodreads does this where the comments say, I don't know if I can go.
Like if it has spoils.
Yeah, this review contains spoilers. Tap to view. Amazing.
I love it.
That's awesome. Because nobody wants spoilers.
Sometimes I do, but it's like you don't.
No Harry Potter spoilers.
Too. Sometimes we've read books like, I'll be like, who has read this book? And it's like, yeah, like I read it. Okay, no spoilers, please. And they're like, okay. they respect it, which is really cute.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Wow, this person gave it a 5 and they're like, it's frustratingly a wild ride. I really enjoyed this. And I became so frustrated with the protagonist Grace. I was flipping these pages so fast. It's a miracle my fingers didn't catch on fire. Oh,
That's a good study.
exageran.
I was like, how fast can you turn a page? Like,
Yeah.
you stopped up.
It's pretty fast.
It will capture your mind and keep your heart prisoner until the very last page.
I hate that.
I think you hate it because in book club you can't do that. You can't go ahead and you're trapped even more.
You're like, ah. That's exactly how I felt this section. I was like, please, I'm asking for a friend. Tell me how far to go.
I think that's why I kind of like the last segments, because then you can just read as fast as you want and it doesn't like matter as much.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Karina, which one did you decide?
I decided I had one very similar in theme to what we just read, and I have one similar to what Crystal
Just suggested.
proposed as well, which is why I needed a little bit longer to decide, but I have decided.
¿Cuál es?
So I'm pitching a book I've read many times before, like mentioned in a book meeting.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my
You're
god.
gonna do that.
I'd actually be down to read that one. I have it on my to read. Like, I write it every time you like refer it, because you're like, you love it.
We'll read the like synopsis and then I will make like some more pitches to it.
Is it by Bram?
Bram Stoker, yeah. So here's the description. As fledgling English lawyer Jonathan Harker treks into the Carpathian Mountains to complete a real estate transaction, frightened peasants warn him of horrible dangers that await him. Harker, terrified by eerie events along the way, finally meets his client, Count Dracula. I'm going to skip a few pieces because I think it is a little bit too descriptive. Finally meets his client, Count Dracula, a tall, gaunt old man with a surprisingly powerful handshake. Harker soon realizes that he is a prisoner in Dracula's sumptuously furnished castle, a castle strangely devoid of mirrors. One night he is accosted by 3 voluptuous women.
Ooh.
Later, as 50, I'm skipping this part actually. Back in England, Harker's fiancée, Mina Murray, is deeply worried. She hasn't heard from Harker in months, and her friend Lucy is acting very strangely. Ever since a ship loaded with 50 boxes of reeking earth wrecked nearby, Lucy has been sleepwalking and exhibiting an odd concentration. No one, not even Lucy's fiancé, Dr. John Seward, can explain her sudden condition. Oh, that is wrong. That was not her fiancé. And no one yet suspects that the rational modern world must now confront an ancient evil it is ill-equipped to recognize, let alone defeat. Part Gothic novel, part modern horror story, and part morality play, Dracula is the vampire saga that started it all.
Dun, dun, dun.
And so my follow-up pitch to this is, even though it's similar to some scary books that we've read so far, we haven't yet read a classic in book, and this is definitely published like 1800s and has been a model of like all scary stories. And it's written, I was showing Judith last weekend, it's written in the form of journals and letters. So you kind of get a perspective of different characters, which is very interesting. That's why I like it so much too. And then you
Yeah,
got
some good pitches this
all the
month.
stuff in the beginning for Mexican Gothic. I'm like, oh, that's from Dracula.
Do you still think it's a very alike like that?
No, just in the 2 beginning sections. She totally took it in a different direction now. Which I like.
It's like she
I
was
was
like,
like,
bam, mushrooms, not vampires.
it could be just because I read the book so much too. I probably was like looking into it too much, but really, if we read this one, then I think you guys will pick up on it as well. So yeah, it's one of my favorite books.
And they have a lot of cool different covers too, because I've seen it at like Barnes and Noble. And
I'll send a picture of my other one next time I go home. It's a really nice like cloth bound one. And yeah, and I like this because it's written kind of like in the formal Old English, but it's not like so old school that it's hard to get through.
I was about to ask you that, since it is a classic, is it hard to Like, I mean, it's gonna be like different. Like, it's a super hard language or like vocabulary that we have to constantly keep looking stuff up because it's that old.
It depends on like what you are used to reading, I guess.
Okay.
I think that it's decent. Like,
Okay.
and I like that it shows like what they did with like old technology and stuff. Like there's one of the guys who keeps his diary, but he doesn't write it. He speaks it into the phonograph. So it's kind of like he's, you know, making a little podcast almost, but where they're writing letters or relying on newspapers.
Not the movie, not the movie. So I'm grabbing the pictures for the voting and stuff.
Mhm.
Which one is your favorite cover?
My original Dracula was actually like the Barnes and Noble classic, which is not that pretty, but they're hella cheap. That's why I had that one. Let me see. I like this one. That's why I bought an extra one because I feel like this one looks super creepy. And then I know there's many though, like Katie said. Let me see if I can find the cloth bound one. I think that one's prettier. Not like as scary looking.
I'm trying to decide which one to pick. But
I'm trying to zoom into this picture, but hold on. This is the other one I have. I think it's like
that's
some
pretty.
sort of flower on it, maybe garlic.
Oh, I see that one. This one?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's pretty.
But I also do like this one, whichever one you want to do.
Google has it for free.
Yeah,
Like,
a lot.
yeah.
Because
A lot of
and nobody
classic.
likes to read classics, although like we should.
the authors are dead too, so I mean, no one's paying the royalty, so a lot of them are free, like Jane Austen, you know.
Yeah, Jane Eyre and all those. Ooh, I'm gonna put the one that you have. Found it.
Sweet. Yeah, this one looks much darker.
Okay. Okay, dogs. I guess voting on Wednesday. Yeah.
Sure. Whenever you want.
Okay, dogs. Wednesday it will be. Or Wednesday.
It
That's
has this little castle.
cute.
I'm excited. I think we have a good variety of books.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I feel like I have my top two, but I'm gonna just put them on my 1, 2.
If anyone does read this, if Dracula doesn't get chosen and anyone reads it after, then just text me. We can talk about it because I already read it with me.
I just downloaded oh, you can't even see it. I just downloaded the what is it, the ebook?
Yeah, the ebook thing.
Oh, Crystal's already gonna read it. By the end.
I've listened to a lot of the books that you guys have recommended in the past, like for book club. Like The
Yeah.
Silent Patient, I just finished it.
Don't tell me. I wish I had time to do all that.
I listen to it while I'm at work, or like I'm just like sitting there. I'm working. I just sit here like listening to it.
Yeah, no. Yo no puedo hacer eso. I have to listen to the patients and the doctor and
I forgot to tell you guys, I saw that they're gonna make Mexican Gothic into a TV show.
I did see that.
Shut up.
Is it like on Netflix or like on and
Hulu,
like,
right?
I think Hulu. It's I forgot her name. That they're married couple. That's super famous. It's not super famous, but they're gonna produce
that
it.
might be interesting. Like I know when we read Judith, when we read Normal People and we saw this series, like that was interesting.
I
Yeah.
never finished reading that one. I had to turn it in.
Remember Vanishing Half is gonna have that too. When? We don't know.
Like we saw, like what was it, Wild? Gone Girl, whatever it was. Wild. Was it Wild?
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah. No, Gone Girl was a different one. That's
Wild has the movie, but I mean that movie was not that great.
no, the book wasn't that. I mean, the book was good. Okay.
My mom's still working on that one.
Yeah,
But
the movie ruined it for me.
was gonna have a show. So The Vanishing Half, they were working on it. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, we know they're probably gonna do it. And now we have Mexican Gothic. Look at us. We have 3 stuff lined up for us. 3 different new shows and videos or movies.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of cool. We're gonna be those people who are like, oh, we knew about that. We already knew. Like, stop. Hipsters, stop. Now that it's mainstream, you're into it. We were way back when.
We'll be like, did you even read the book though?
Exactly. We already
What
talked.
was it? What book did I read where I was like, I cried more in the book than in the movie? What was it? A Fault in Our Stars or something like that.
Oh yeah, that book is sad.
I was like, I had to like, there was times where I just put it on my chest and I was just bawling. And then when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, I didn't cry as much for the movie. I cried more for the book.
Mhm.
It's hard to pick a good like movie that has been adapted. I'll think of them this week and see. I feel like there is one that I did like, but
You know, Me Before You was actually pretty good.
I bawled.
Transitioned into the movie.
I was like,
Mhm.
that was the first book where I was like sobbing.
I remember when I think like you had me read it after you or something, right, Judith?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Little Women too.
I was
is
living
a
with
good
the
adaptation. Yeah.
when I read it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a mess. And Eileen was like, what's wrong? And I was like, oh, I need to read this book. I need to cry in a book. I miss it.
The wife of the Katie.
Yes, Dada. It was nice seeing you. Oh, have a
Nice
great birthday,
seeing you.
Katie. And we, oh, hey, Rico, you're still there.
Was he there the whole time? Just being in
Yeah, he's been on his phone.
I was like, oh, hello. Have a wonderful day off. And then we'll see you.
Thank you. Next week. Definitely.
Good night.
So voting, what do you like by Wednesday you said?
Yes, I think I'll open it. Maybe I can open it Wednesday night. Maybe Wednesday. Do you guys prefer Wednesday morning or Wednesday night?
Whichever. As long as if we need to order it, as long as it like.
Okay. I think I can open it Wednesday.
If you order it like, if we need to, like 2 days. Right.
Yeah. I'll try to do it Wednesday night or Tuesday night.
Okay.
I'll try and do it earlier. I'll try not to do Wednesday night. Mejor in the morning, and then by the end of the night we'll probably have.
Whenever works for me, I'll be keeping an eye out for it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna post it right now. I really don't have anything to do except watch the dog, so hopefully he's not hungry.
Read, finish reading.
That's right. I'm gonna read, but I'll do that first, and then I'll read since I can read the rest of the days. Okay, thanks. See you on next week.
Bye, ladies. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.